What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Wrestling Junkies podcast. I'm Eric, Mr. Cincinnati Robinson. As always, I'm joined by the podcast dad himself, Chris Hoops. Choops, how are you, my friend?
Doing great. We might have a first on the podcast, folks. Mr. Cincinnati does not have a wrestling T-shirt on. That's a big deal, guys. That's first. And how many episodes have we done now?
This is episode 49. However, that is a super bold assumption to make. I would be remiss if I didn't point this out. I'm sure that you're as excited as I am about this. However, this is a massive deal because not only is this just a wrestling T-shirt that I'm wearing, it's ours.
Look at that.
We got folks. Wrestling Junkies merch, everybody. Let's go.
Look at that, folks. Yes, I was in on the joke, guys, so I don't want to pull the wool over your eyes. I was in on the joke. But
way to keep kayfabe there, bud.
Hey, I'm a pro. Let's not get that twisted. Right. But yes, okay. Look at that amazing shirt, guys. So excited to have merch. I can't wait for the next. Get me a hat, and man, it will be on my head 24/7. I'm going to sleep in that shirt. I cannot wait to get mine.
Yeah, seriously, shout out to the merch gods here in Cincinnati, Ohio. We appreciate the quick turnaround time with these T-shirts. If you are interested in a shirt, DM us, hit that QR code in the top left corner, and we'll tell you how to get one. But yeah, no, I'm dude. We've been talking about this for ages. I mean, how many of our episodes have we ended with, I swear to God, merch is coming. We swear it's coming. It's coming. It's coming. Here it is. It's here. Okay? Listen, dude, I have literally hundreds of wrestling T-shirts in that closet. You've seen them. Seen them. This one's ours.
That is ours, and that's after last night. I didn't think I could get to a level. Much higher,
I'm taking this off. It's super hot in this. I got it.
Yeah, after our championship summit, and now to have the own merch, we're doing it, man. And it's
yeah. I mean, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm agreeing with you.
You're the host. It's fine.
No. We are the hosts. That's how this works. We know this. We know this. Okay. Well.
Color.
Can you put a good word in for me for that jackass that hopes stump the smart? Because I don't know. I can't seem to win with that guy.
I can't do anything about him. He runs his own show.
Okay. Well, you guys look strangely familiar. Whatever. All right. Anyway.
Good looking guy. Yeah.
Last night was absolutely wild. Solid 5.5, week 6. Okay, but shout outs to Bryce Cannon, Dominic Stuckey, Duncan Abasia, and Najicism for joining us. I'm sorry, I took myself out with my own joke. I apologize.
It's going to be one of those episodes, folks.
Yeah, it is.
One of those episodes.
Anyway, we appreciate everybody coming on for the championship summit. Even though Naja left a lot to be desired, it's cool. I'd still have him back on the show. I don't know about you.
Oh yeah, no. Hey, any wrestler that wants to come on our show at any point ever, you are welcome to come back.
I mean, as evidenced by the Creeps interview, which is also live on our YouTube channel, go check that out. They were so much fun to talk to, and if you've had a chance to listen to that interview, you see how much fun that we are having talking to them. You are seeing how much fun they are having talking about tag team wrestling, queer inclusion, and the backdrop of professional wrestling. It's something that is so needed in today's day and age. So again, Andy Irving, thank you so much for joining us for that interview. Dude, let's get into it. Title Tuesday, NXT, probably one of the biggest nights in wrestling that we've seen at the very least in 2023. I mean, big head-to-head. I can't remember if this is the first time that they've gone head-to-head this year. I mean, you might know better than I do, but this was there.
As far as weekly television, yes, this is the first time they've gone head-to-head. Obviously, we've had some PLEs and Collision. I don't really count those because I think all the WWE PLEs have knocked Collision out of the water. Like, it's been not a matchup. But, yeah, I think first time we've seen weekly shows go up against each other since NXT, the end of the Black and Gold days. But, yeah, this was it was a crazy night. I had a lot going on. I have a sick child, so that was fun. But kind of having the phone here feeding and then watching the TV and kind of doing a little bit of everything. And shout out to my wife for dealing with 2 screens of wrestling last night. She only usually has to do 1, but 2 screens last night with sounds coming from the TV and the iPad. So she went to bed early. So sorry about that, but we don't get these very often. It's like it's like a super moon. Yeah. It came together and it was great. At the end of the day, if you liked either show better than the other, that's fine. We all won
Sure.
as fans. We got to watch a ton of good wrestling. Maybe a little bit more on one show than the other, but we got to see a lot, and we're going to dive deep into it here in a second. But my question for you, right off the bat, and we talked about this a little bit pre-show. Before we get into each show, which one did you like better?
I hate that we're doing this so early, but it is necessary. So I preferred overall NXT. Now, that's because of the entertainment aspects that they brought to the show as far as the appearances. However, AEW, better in-ring action. I still think, and I mean, I know we're going to get into all of this, and you know, once we do start this deep dive, I'll explain how I looked at both shows, and I know how you looked at them, especially, you know, given the fact that he had a sick Uso. Yeah, Swerve Danielson, match of the night, hands down across both shows. Can't tell me nothing. Like, I'm like, don't at me on this. Like, the best match of the night across both cards. However, WWE pulled out all the stops. Cody Rhodes, John Cena, and the effing Undertaker making their NXT debuts. That counts for something. No matter how you use them during the shows, and we'll get into how they were used in these shows, but that matters because at this point, I mean, NXT's been running almost 10 years. Taker's been there the entire time. At no point have they thought that it was so important to bring him out than they did last night. That carries a lot of weight with me. So yeah, I think that overall WWE won the night, but there was nothing to sneeze at when it came to AEW and what they did. And I showed this to Choops, and I'll try to upload this to socials, but I'm not sure if anybody can see this here, but I went half hour by half hour as far as WWE and AEW, as far as what was seen on each respective half hour of the show. So that's how I would go about looking at this today. And you know, let me know if you want to do it any other way. I mean, like I said, I'm ready one way or the other.
No, that's how we're going to do it. We're going to go off your notes. I will say about both shows, I think it perfectly encapsulated what both companies are. AEW had the better wrestling. WWE had the better entertainment. And you can take that as what you are. I'm entertained by wrestling. I'm entertained by sports entertainment. But I think it perfectly mirrored exactly what those two companies are going for.
Yes.
And to say I liked one over the other is a really, really hard question because it's depending on what you like in your pro wrestling. And for me, I think the nostalgia act and the surprise pop-ups of an LA night, I think that was better for me overall, where it kind of felt like another Dynamite episode, which again is fine. I'm totally okay with another Dynamite episode. But NXT just, I mean, they pulled out the big dogs for that one. And that was my big TV. And then the small screen was AEW.
Yeah.
Next time they do, it might flip. I don't know. But
sure,
both were good shows.
Yeah. Because you and I went back and forth about that over the last week as far as which is going to get big screen, which is going to get iPad. And up until Monday night, it was going to be, or actually I'll say Saturday night, it was going to be up until then, it was going to be AEW on the big screen, NXT on the iPad, until we were at Fastlane, saw the teaser for NXT, and it ended with a gong.
Yep.
That was what sealed it for me. I mean, let's be honest. Like, I understand that, you know, yes, he's retired. You know, yes, there was a lot to think about what he might actually do if he came to the show. They have never said Taker. We've never said Taker. We need you for NXT. They have never said that.
Yeah, it's the mystery.
And this was the time they choose. Yeah, exactly. And what he was going to do, and we'll get into all of that. Again, before we get into it, hit that QR code, like, share, subscribe, notifications, yada yada, all that good stuff. First half hour of Tuesday Night Wars, commercial free. Both companies announced that. Excuse me. Here is how they broke down that first hour. Do you want me to go company by company, or like how do you want me to kind of look at this play?
Let's go first half hour NXT. Go.
Okay. First half hour of NXT, we see the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes has major announces the men's breakout tournament coming. Not that we didn't see that coming because there's been a women's, but then also announces the Dusty Classic. Nice nostalgia pop, especially because today is Dusty's birthday. And then Cody is interrupted by Ilya Dragunov, new NXT champion, basically giving his flowers to the American Nightmare. Then we see Rhea and Dom, typical Judgment Day shenanigans. Cody announces also that he's guest general manager of the evening, so he makes an NXT title match between Ilya and Dominic Mysterio. Special guest referee, L.A. Knight. Yeah. So good use of that segment. And I'm going to hop over to AEW because at the same time that this was happening, Christian Cage is in the production truck basically announcing the first half hour is going to be commercial free. Something that we already knew, but it was done in character, so that's pretty cool. Swerve and Danielson kick off the show. Technical, absolute masterpiece that's going on. There's a couple of segments here. After the Cody announcement, we get Roxanne Perez and Asuka. Asuka making her return to NXT. Undefeated in NXT, and that streak did continue last night. This was basically just a showcase. Roxanne Perez gets a hell of an opportunity to work with Asuka to see how she might look on the main roster. Spoiler alert, she's ready. Shotzi comes out, announces that she's going to be the host of Halloween Havoc this year, along with Lady Scarlet for at least night one, the both of them. This really didn't add a whole lot to that particular match, but it's cool to bring Shotzi back into the fold because she fits Halloween. I know she's got the podcast with Scarlet and kind of the, super normal, paranormal, whatever the word is, paranormal.
You watched it?
I've not, no.
They're actually pretty good. I would check them
I
out,
figured,
guys.
yeah.
They are pretty funny, actually.
I like it. Okay, cool. And then we see Gallus backstage. They're getting ready for the Pub Rules match. They cut to Tyler Bate and Brawling Brutes. Then that match kicks off. That's basically the first half hour here. On the other side of AEW, Swerve Danielson, Samoa Joe pre-tape, and then Chris Jericho versus Hobbs. So SmackDown's first commercial, and I apologize, I did not write all the times down for the entire show, but
not SmackDown.
Sorry. You're right. NXT went to commercial first. It was a picture-in-picture, and that was about 8:30. And NXT was trending on X at about the same time. So they at least won out that first half hour, depending on how you look at it. Thoughts on that first half hour?
Yeah, I think we can talk about who won the half hours or whatever. That's not my lane.
Well,
That's our lane. A lot happened in that first half hour for both. I'll start with AEW. Danielson and Swerve was a good match. I'd like to see it on a pay-per-view. I think it was right around 15, 16 minutes. I'd like to see it a little bit more time, and I think they can really do well on a pay-per-view. I like that Hangman costs Swerve. That at least adds to a story and at least gives you an excuse to beat Swerve, because I didn't want Swerve to lose cleanly.
Yeah, no, I agree. And if there is anything that I think that you and I can both agree on right now is that Swerve is a main eventer. I don't think that there's any additional question about it at this point with the way he kept up with probably, PWI says otherwise, but Bryan Danielson's one of the best on the planet right now. One of the greatest of all time. And he kept up.
He is the best on the planet right now. If we're talking wrestler, he's the best wrestler on the planet.
Okay.
Mojo's vignette, I like this character that they're doing. He's got his, what's it called? The whiskey. He's got that. He's got the cigar. He looks like a star, and they're pushing him like that, and I like that. And then, the Jericho Hobbs match, I think Hobbs got a big win, winning, kind of basically squashing Jericho. Jericho doesn't do that very often, and that's a really, really big win
when
for
it does.
Hobbs.
Yeah, it matters.
And, I think it's time that they seriously push this guy. He's very good. This is not the QT Marshall crap. He has talent. Push this guy to the moon, and I think he can be a future star for your company. And this is a good first step. And him and Callis, I think, are going to work very, very well together.
Yeah, and I think that's what I was worried about when it comes to Hobbs, because he has had such a start-stop to his career and his pushes, that what is him being a part of the Don Callis family really going to look like? And
good.
Sky's the limit here. Yeah.
Yes.
That was probably the best that I think that Hobbs has looked since early Teen Taz, and that's saying a lot, man. Jericho, he doesn't sell for everybody. He doesn't put over everybody quite like that, and having to go to the local medical facility after the match, and be evaluated for his injuries. I mean, that counts for something.
Yeah, no, it was a well told story. On the NXT side, Cody coming out announcing the breakout tournament. I like these tournaments in NXT, the breakouts. I think it's a good way to get that the talent that's not as known on the roster and get them in front of a crowd, see what they got. Like I really think on the women's side, like I think Lola Vice is going to be very, very good in the WWE. Yeah. Like she is a name to watch for sure. We'll get her a little bit later. I think there was a reason she was on this card tonight. We will get to her a little later, but like the men's breakout will be good. I'm excited to see that. The Dusty Classic coming back is always good. And then, the interaction with Ilya was fine. It wasn't anything major. It wasn't anything crazy. And getting Ilya to wrestle on the card was good. You want to showcase your champion, on the card, and make it a big deal that he is your champion. And what was the last part? Oh, the Roxanne and Asuka. Yes, sorry. There was a lot of wrestling last night, guys.
Yeah.
I like this match. I like the matchup. I wish it would have gone a little bit longer. Asuka kind of just ended it fairly
I think quickly. It was about 6 minutes, I think, is what I read. Yeah.
But, that's Asuka's on the main roster traveling a lot. Like she did the PLE. She was on Raw. Like, so I understand. Yeah. Or no, she's on SmackDown. Sorry. But I understand kind of, all right, let's see what the reaction is, at least to Roxanne versus Asuka, and see if maybe in the future there's something there, which I think there will be. Like you said, Shotzi didn't add much to anything, but the tank was out and they got a pop. So
it's just load the card up with star power, because both companies made that first 30 minutes feel like a big deal. I mean, that's how this was announced, and it was just literally that tete-a-tete all week long leading into last night. But then we also had the start of the Pub Rules match, Gallus and Tyler Bate, or Brawling Brutes and Tyler Bate against Gallus. That was just a brawl. Loved it. Big fan of it.
I think I think I'm ready to see Gallus on the main roster.
Okay,
I could see them as a group on the main roster. Like, I don't know what purpose they have left in NXT. They really did well in NXT UK. They had their tag team title run down here. I could see them on the main roster probably sooner rather than later, where they're mixing it up. Just adds depth to the tag division, and Lord knows they need that.
I would agree for sure. And I mean, at this point, I have similar thought about Tyler Bate, especially being involved with Butch again. And I don't see why you wouldn't add him into the Brawling Brutes, because Sheamus is out with the injury right now. So if you do still want to go that 3-man unit, Tyler Bate is kind of the perfect fit. Much like Gallus, there's really not much left for Tyler Bate to do in NXT. I mean, he's 26 and has been in NXT for 7 years, some variation of that. It's time. Like it's time to fly free and, leave the nest. Like, I think he can do it. And this would be the perfect situation. I think this was a great setup to bring both of these teams up to the main roster.
What's his new name going to be?
Don't you dare.
Ted?
Don't you dare.
Butch and Ted?
Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
Just for you. But yeah, like overall, good first half hours. AEW didn't go to commercial until like an hour in, but
8:47 is what I've got written down as the first commercial.
I texted you though about NXT going picture in picture. Like that's the first time I've seen them do that. Like that was hilarious. Like they're doing it. Like,
yeah. Why not?
Bob Age is back there like, all right, let's do this. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Like it was a lot of fun.
And that's great. However, I will give AEW points for they use their picture in picture the best. And we'll get to why.
We will
get to why. And that's in this second half hour here. That's in the second half hour here. So WWE side Pub Rules match continues. We got a Becky Lynch, Lyra Valkyria package, basically kind of showing the come up. Yeah, like absolutely brilliant.
Package. I loved that video. That was amazing. I mean, that sold me on the match. That was awesome.
And then Tegan, Lyra backstage, basically they're all calling shots at Becky Lynch, which is what we expected for her having the NXT championship. It's also convenient because she's got a book that I also need to pre-order. If you've not, then you definitely should too. We don't get paid to say that. I just bought Becky Lynch, but
real quick before you move on, did you see
of course.
that all but 3 of the women on the Raw roster were on Raw on Monday? And some kind of form or fashion. All but 3 of the women on the Raw roster.
The only 3 that we didn't see. Yeah. Candice.
No, Candice was on it.
Wait, when did that happen?
Candice and Indy were on it, yes.
Damn,
that was a backstage
okay, all right.
Zoe Stark and Nikki Cross. Those were the only 3 not on the show. Everybody else had something on the show.
Okay.
That was really cool that, and that's kind of what I think might be a tell that maybe Triple H is actually in charge.
All right.
I think that's like Gargano in the main event last week or the week before, and I think that's what I'm starting to pick up is Triple H I think is in charge.
Okay. That's good because I mean that must have been a point when I'm looking down at another. There's a lot of wrestling tonight, but yeah, I mean, like, do it. Like, we appreciate it. Like, please do it again. Both companies, like, that's not what we're saying.
Maybe not every week, guys. It was a lot.
Every week,
it was a lot of stimulation going on.
I feel like once a quarter is kind of appropriate for something like that, where it's just okay, we're just doing it. But yeah. So Tegan and Lara backstage, and then commercial 8:43. Then we hear the horns. John Cena comes out. That crowd is singing his entire song without issue. He's explained how great it is being in NXT. Braun Breaker interrupts. They have their moment. It was good. It got the job done for whatever it was in that segment that they were trying to accomplish.
That's a Mania match.
I can't wait.
That's how you debut Braun Breaker on the main roster, is he beats John Cena at WrestleMania.
Get this man a pencil.
I'm telling you, I think that's what that's setting up because
okay,
Braun should have been on the main roster a long time ago, and I
agree.
They are going to get behind him like crazy. He is going to be a star for that company.
Yeah.
I think that's how you do it. Cena will put him over. Like, Braun's the next thing, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's not hard to see. And I think a lot of the rationale for keeping him on NXT was to kind of perfect this heel run that he's on right now. I definitely like this Braun Breaker better than, much better. I mean, it's basically that gave 80s Steiner Brothers just, but at least this Braun's got some big papa pump in him. I'm just waiting for Steiner math. That's all.
Nah, he's not going to do it. He's past it. He's past it. No, like I think Braun is. I think we saw a glimpse into what WWE thinks their future is with Braun and Mello. Like,
that's a WrestleMania main event.
There's a reason that
WrestleManias. Yeah,
exactly. Like that's the future right there. Is those two guys.
Yeah,
we'll get into that a little bit later. But yeah, like Braun getting the rub from Cena, I loved it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. On the AEW side of things, that's when we got the finish of Jericho versus Hobbs in the second half hour. We got a Roderick Strong, Adam Cole pre-tape. These continue to just entertain the hell out of me. Matt Taven and that damn giraffe.
This one wasn't as good for me.
That's fine.
I thought last week's was funnier. Like, there were more like sharp cuts to kind of like Matt Taven doing stuff with the giraffe. This one was kind of just. This one was okay for me.
Yeah, is it more that this is just putting over more of the like, okay, I've gotten Adam kind of back into the fold, and I'm trying to make him feel bad or like keep him here? Like, I mean,
yeah, I don't know what the end goal of this is. I mean, I think they're telling the story that he doesn't have any TVs, he doesn't have any cell service out there, and that's why he's not answering MJF. And I like that they're at least letting me know that, but. I don't know if I need these super cheesy comedy sketches right now. Yeah,
but I mean, at the same time, I mean, look at it this way, and I know that there's been some talk about whether the ankle injury is shoot or not. However, let's just assume that it is because we have no reason to think that it isn't. We saw how he took that landing. We saw him limp the second it happened. Like, so you have to think, yes, there's some surgery necessary, but like. If this is a way to keep Adam Cole on TV to keep the storyline going, I don't see why you don't take advantage of that,
Yeah, and that's fair. But like my other issue is we don't know how long Adam Cole's out. If we don't, like, are they going to do this for the next 6 months?
If we're doing this in 6 months, then I'll probably agree with you that it's overkill. But I think that, basically going to war with the army they have right now.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's it for me.
No, that's fair.
Yeah. Orange Cassidy, Ray Phoenix, International Championship. Orange Cassidy, 2-time International Champion. Announced that Mox is all of a sudden, or Mox is not cleared, or just, I guess, wasn't able to compete that night.
They're not cleared.
Yeah, this is what it is. I think that this is them just kind of, abandoning the plans that they had with Moxley, because it sounds like it's going to be a while. AEW and how they've treated concussions has been different than most. And we saw how long Adam Cole was out. I'm hoping that's not the same for Mox, but what say you?
Yeah, like it was kind of telling. He wasn't on the Revolver show on Sunday in Dayton.
Yeah, I forgot we didn't go to that.
And maybe that was I wouldn't have been able to go, dude. I was exhausted. And
I know. Me too. Yeah.
Maybe that was kind of them being super cautious with it, but it seems like it's not. Like he's still not cleared.
Yeah.
And hopefully it's not as serious as it sounds. With them not announcing this before like the show, I would think it's kind of like, oh, we're almost there kind of thing.
Sure.
On the flip side, like, what do we do with the international title?
I mean, this is the only thing you can do.
Like, Phoenix is probably now out.
Yeah.
Are we just going to do another couple months of Orange Cassidy?
I mean, why not? I mean, and I've not thought about this question that I'm about to ask you, so even I don't have an answer for it, but we're just going to riff off the cuff here. I mean, realistically, let's say, because Orange Cassidy has kind of, driven himself into the ground to defend this championship. I mean, that's not a sustainable pace. Is there anybody else that you think that you could realistically warm up to have a lengthy reign with this championship the way that Orange Cassidy has?
Yeah, Swerve.
Yeah, it'd be great. That'd be really great.
Like
Yeah.
if you want to test to see what you really have with him, like give him that title run, see what he does.
Yeah. Ooh, give me that. I want that all of a sudden.
I don't know if we get a different Orange Cassidy title run. Maybe it's now.
Probably not.
Hey, I that first run I defended it like crazy. I broke a bunch of records, and I lost eventually. This one I may kind of sit back and have less matches and see if I can break my own record again, or do they immediately go back to Jon Moxley? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Obviously, injuries change a lot of things, and AEW is starting to stack those injuries, which is concerning. With Cole, with Cash Wheeler,
Mox, Phoenix.
Like they're starting to.
Cassidy's hurt.
Starting to stack that up.
Thunder Rosa's still,
we don't know what Thunder Rosa's
seen.
doing. But yeah, I mean, this match was fine. I think it was obvious that Phoenix was not 100%, and just they needed to get the match on the card.
Yeah, which, I mean, it's fine. It was what it was. I would say for now, expect more. I mean, unless and until we see something different with Orange Cassidy in these title reigns, I mean, he'll be all right. He'll continue to carry the company banner. I mean, he is that guy for them. So I don't necessarily see any drastic change to that yet. But realistically, I would agree with you that, if you do decide you need to take a title off of him, Swerve's that guy.
Do you 100%. Think, and again, this is kind of right off the cuff,
that's how we do it.
If they want to change kind of this title run, is there any chance that he could turn heel? Because they kind of dropped the ball momentum-wise after that Moxley loss.
I guess I don't know. I mean,
it's a hard character to be heel.
Exactly. I mean, it's like the first question that came to mind with me when you say that is how in the actual does this guy become a heel? Like, I don't know how you do it. Thank you.
That's pretty
very
good.
much. I try.
Yeah,
I try. Thank you.
Sorry, guys. That was good. That's editing without being able to edit. That's awesome. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's a kind of a Hook pairing that Hook can be heel, or I don't know. I just spitballing, but we'll move on to the next.
Actually, speaking of Hook. What's the point of carrying the title on your shoulder and then a backpack if you're not going to put title in said backpack like Orange Cassidy does in your I don't know. the junkie in me. Get your shirts now. Anyway,
I didn't notice that. I didn't notice that.
So in the second half hour, we did get AEW's first commercial of the night. It was a picture-in-picture, and it was the debut of a Tony Storm silent movie. Podcast Dad, your thoughts on Tony and the silent movies, Act 1 and we'll come back to Act 2, but they're all
Act 1 and Act 2. I'm going to put it together.
Okay.
So at the time, I had AEW on mute.
Okay.
And then I saw Tony Storm come up, and I turned up the volume. And she was just in the corner dancing. And I had no idea what was happening.
Yeah.
So I was very confused for both videos because I had no idea it was a silent film. I'm like, what are we doing? Why is she just in the corner just dancing now that the commercials are playing? Like, she's reacting to the commercials. What is she doing? So it totally went past me. I went back and rewatched it this morning. It makes sense now.
Yeah.
It fits with her character. It's much better. But last night, dude, I'm sitting there and I'm like, what the hell is happening?
Like, she's channeling her inner Charlie Chaplin, her inner Theda Bara. Like it works for her in this character. And this makes me even more excited that Mariah May is likely going to be joining this and creating a duo out of it, because like you can not only do like Golden Age of Hollywood, like that Starlet thing, but there were enough of them back in the day that were feuding with each other that it's like, okay, we can eventually spin these two off and have some fun with it. So yeah, I mean, solid first, opening 40 some odd minutes for them. Next up, we had Wardlow crushing Matt Sydal, another referee stoppage. I mean, yeah, I basically the same, but again, second week in a row, he's at MJF on the wrist tape. Not that it means anything, but
yeah, right now I don't care. Like I didn't feel like this needed to be on the show.
Okay.
I just and maybe in due time I will, but at this moment it's like, okay, how long are we going to do this?
Yeah.
I've already seen this.
But it goes back to the larger conversation that you and I were having at and after Fastlane on the way back. WWE has this model of fewer matches across their allotted time. AEW is going to put whatever they can into that. So basically, the storytelling is just the match itself. There may not be a larger story other than trying to reheat Wardlow. Do I think that this is the way to do it?
I don't know.
We have seen the long-term booking when it comes to I'm just going to squash everybody out. Here's looking at you, Jade. So that is what worries me here when it comes to Wardlow is that, yeah, you can give him this incredible undefeated streak, but when it counts, like, is he going to go over an MJF? Is he going to go over a Jay White? Is he going to go over a Powerhouse Hobbs week? We talked about that too, as far as who's going to have the successful reheat. And I think that, this is just me spitballing, but like, if I'm Wardlow, I'm waiting my time out and I'm signing in to go to New York.
Yeah, I'm very cold on Wardlow right now. We'll see what they do with him. I'm just like, I feel like twice now they've dropped the ball, and you're going to have to get me to care again. That's where I am.
He's also from Cleveland, so
nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong. As long as you're not from Dallas, I don't care.
Oh, you Dallas Cowboys, go! Sorry.
You want me to leave?
You know where the door is.
I'll leave right now.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, be like Naja, whatever.
Yeah, maybe I will.
Yeah, maybe you should.
Yeah, well, I won't.
All right, fine.
I'm professional. I'm professional,
yeah,
so
yeah.
I won't.
Whatever. Welcome to the Eric Robinson Show, everybody.
You have too much power. Turning into Vince McMahon right before my eyes. I don't like it. You got the shirt. You got the power of that. Like, I don't like.
It's more like keep your finger off the switch. Done. That's all it is.
Yeah. Keep it off the switch, Robinson.
There's our new shirt right there. Let me know what you think. Again, hit that QR code, top left corner, like, share, subscribe, and then if you want to merch, DM us.
Go watch our summit yesterday too.
What's that?
Go watch our summit yesterday.
Oh, dude, that was Thank you to Bryce. Yeah, everybody else, good luck. You're going to need it. Bryce is not going to lose the title this Friday. Anyway.
And stay tuned Friday, guys. We might have something special, too. That's a tease, folks.
Yes. Yeah, it is. And if there's one thing I know, it's being a tease. Anyway, so Renee interviews Chris Jericho in the back. It sounds like he's selling the injuries of Powerhouse Hobbs.
He didn't talk.
He's hurting. Well, okay.
He didn't say a word. What happened?
I am just reading my notes, okay? And there were two screens. We were going.
I'm asking you. What happened? Why didn't he talk?
I don't know. He's selling the effects of the whiplash by Hobbs. Okay, look at him. He's the size of a house. Chris Jericho looks like not the size of a house.
You better be nice with your words. He'll come get us. Y2J will come get us. Anyway,
I like how you noticed that I decided to choose my words in that moment. I think after today, you need a break from me. But anyway.
Oh, I don't get that. We podcast 5 days a week.
Oh, yeah, I know, right? But yeah, so there was that. Yeah. Garcia, Daddy Magic, whatever, yada, yada, yada. Are you in? Are you out? All that kind of stuff.
They're telling this story still. Again, move on.
Yeah.
What are you going to do with Daniel Garcia? Please do something.
Okay, well, let me ask you, what do you want to see done with Daniel Garcia, if you don't mind me asking?
Anything.
Okay.
At this point, anything. All we are getting is backstage segments. I get it. He does his silly little dance, and that's over. But, put him on TV then.
Okay.
Give him a match. Yeah. He's a good wrestler.
Yeah. I agree with you. I agree.
I'll get off
and then, to round out, to close that second half hour, that's the start of Hangman Page Jay White. So, commercial break on the 9 o'clock hour. Back to NXT. Cody and the D'Angelo family backstage. Basically, 10-team battle royal happening next week. The remaining 2 teams will duke it out. Winner challenges the D'Angelo family at Halloween Havoc. Just a good way to get everybody on screen together. What'd you think?
Sounds like you have your pick with Duke It Out. I see what you did there. Yeah,
well,
go ahead.
I'm sitting here waiting for a Duke Hudson heel turn, and here he is taking notes at Chase U like a studious mother. All right.
Yeah, it's not happening. So,
this why? Give it to me now. Sorry.
No, this was fine. It was Cody being funny as Cody can be.
Yeah.
With, D'Angelo. Okay. It's weird that you announce a Dusty Classic and then announce a number 1 contender battle royal with the teams that will probably be in the Dusty Classic, but we'll see.
It's all about the Tag Team Classic, baby. No, I can't do a Dusty impression. I'll leave that for Bruce.
That was bad.
Yeah.
That was real bad. That was real bad. Yeah, I don't think you have a gap in your teeth. I have the gap in my teeth. I can get the soul, baby. I can get the soul. I can get the lift. I can get the lift going.
This show has already gone on entirely too long.
It has. Thank you for watching, everybody.
We appreciate it. We're having a good day. We got new merch. I celebrate a little bit. Leave me alone. Anyway, on to the NXT Championship match. Yeah, just a little bit. Oh, shout out to the E. Anyway, Ilya, Dom, NXT Championship. This match was exactly what it was. Ilya gets over. Dom eats another loss, but, shenanigans, so it doesn't hurt him. Corbin, Dijak, they have made themselves known. They want shots at NXT Championship. Stakes will be announced later on in the night. And then we had a brief interlude. Jade Cargill greeted by Shawn Michaels at NXT. Again, another good use of Jade in this particular show on this evening.
So I'm okay with it now. She's just showing up, kind of. All right, let's check this out. Fastlane was her first PLE. This was NXT. I want to see her show up on SmackDown. Maybe Adam Pearce greets her. She's kind of, all right, let's see the landscape first before I make my big splash. So I'm okay with it now. It's grown up.
Okay, good. Yeah, I mean, it's and especially because when you think about the words of Triple H, when she's ready, we don't know necessarily what she's going to be doing at PC, but, you'd have to imagine that they have the same point of you got to unlearn everything. Well, most everything that you have learned at AEW, because that's not how we do things. So I think that,
maybe
there's some degree of that.
It's not like she was doing all the planchas and off the top rope kind of stuff. Like I think the learning curve might be a little easier for her.
Okay. All right. Yeah. No. So I mean, we'll give it time. I think that as long as she makes her presence known at every show, it says that she's a threat no matter where she goes, and I like the idea that they're selling that. No, the commercial. Yeah. So actually, I think this was the one time in the night that both. And I could be wrong, and if I am, please let me know in the chats, comments, DMS, whatever. But I'm pretty sure that during this third half hour was the only time that both shows were on a commercial break at the same time. AEW did Act 2 of the Tony Storm silent movie. So if there was something else doing again, let me know.
I have no idea.
Okay.
There's so much going on. I have no idea.
Okay. Cody, Baron Corbin backstage after that. Basically, Cody says, all right, Corbin, Dijak, you guys are going to go at it. Winner, Braun Mello is going to join that triple threat next week. Winner gets Elia at Halloween Havoc. Sets up another match. Cody just being guest GM, having fun, yada, yada, yada. Danny Palmer, Lola Vice. Yeah?
I don't want Corbin. Get him off my screen. I'm done.
Okay.
Not for the world title. Like, I know he's not going to win.
I buy him for NXT. I would buy him as a surprise NXT. I mean,
nope.
I mean, okay, fine.
To beat Ilya? Are you high?
No, I'm not. Not this time.
Like, there's no way. There is no way you have him beat Ilya Dragunov. There's no way.
Well, let me tell you something.
I'm about to come through the screen and fight.
I wish you. Yeah, I really wish you would. Look, here.
Go ahead.
Here's the thing. Like, I mean, at what point can we acknowledge that they are trying to get back to basics with Baron Corbin? I know that there is a lot of things that we need to unlearn and just forget and unsee about Corbin. I get that, but at this point, without necessarily. I mean, okay, look, realistically, if it's not Mel, if it's not Braun, if it is not even Dijak, how about you let me finish? Okay, because again, this is also a company that they don't run 12 PLEs a year to where you can fire people up to get ready for one monthly show. It's basically Halloween Havoc and Deadline. Deadlines can be committed to Iron Survivor. So they kind of at least have to go through the motions of pretending that there are credible challengers. Will it likely be Dijak? Sure, because I want to see that again. So does everybody else, but that's the wrestling business, pals. We got to at least make it believe like other people are credible challengers. Just because we are smarks doesn't mean that that's not still the case.
But nobody believes Corbin is. Nobody. Like, he's not even, like, close. Like, I would buy Dijak way over before Corbin.
This is the same NXT that put the NXT championship on Dolph Ziggler. So, let's not act like it's out of the realm of possibility that they, if they decide they want to pull the trigger on somebody, they're going to pull the trigger.
But let's not act like Dolph Ziggler and Baron Corbin are the same person. They're not.
I'm not saying that they're the same person.
Dolph Ziggler, multiple-time Intercontinental Champion, former World Champion, main evented pay-per-views before, had title matches with Triple H on main events of Raw. Like, that is two totally different people. He was believable.
Well, at the same time, Baron Corbin, former King of the Ring, former Constable of Raw, former Money in the Bank winner. I know that he failed at it, but if we're just listing accolades, and I can list accolades too, pal. I'm just saying, like, realistically, you've got to go with you. It's still a list, is it not? You know what? Fine. You just made my list.
That's fine. Move on to the next subject.
All right, next subject, Danny Palmer, Lola Vice. Lola Vice is a star. I take back anything that I said about her, especially on my recaps, because I didn't understand the pairing with Elektra Lopez, but Lola's very clearly the star of that duo.
There's a reason that this was the breakout match on this card. Lola Vice is going to be something.
They're into it.
They wanted you to see Lola Vice. She's going to be a star. You guys wait.
Yeah. I really want to see, and it'll be a while before this actually happens, but Lola Vice and Sol Ruca, I really want that match. I know she's dealing with the injury right now, but when she's back, just give it time. Yep. On the AEW side of things, so continuation of Hangman Page, Jay White commercial, picture-in-picture at 9:06, Timeless Tony segment part 2, and then probably the most controversial match of the night. Shida and Saraya, Women's World Championship. Hikaru Shida, the first 3-time AEW Women's World Champion.
Did you say Jay White wrestled?
Yes.
Okay. I want to go back to that.
Okay.
Probably the most controversial moment of the entire night on both shows.
Oh, are we getting into that one?
We have to.
All right.
I think we have to, right? It
was pretty tone deaf. That was pretty tone deaf.
Incredible moment.
Yeah.
And I think, unfortunately, like a lot of people are talking about it, and it sucks. But
yeah.
So go ahead and give the backstory.
Yeah. So I mean, and the thing is, like, it's not even this, but there was something. I mean, there was a fan that had a sign in the crowd last week that said, or maybe 2 weeks ago, that said, MJF, I dropped a quarter, and I mean, MJF has already clapped back on Twitter and basically said, "You, sir, are and like." Now to see the roll of quarters with Friedman's name across the top, like somebody thought that through. It was poor taste given the current climate of things, and while wrestling is entertainment value to us, there are still very real world events that go on outside of this bubble, and I for whoever thought that through or thought it was a good idea. I mean, obviously the buck stops with Tony. That was in poor taste, and there will probably be some people that disagree, and everybody's entitled to their opinion. But that's not the kind of attention that their show needed on this particular night.
I've seen both where, hey, this is it's an in character thing. It's like a movie. If you're offended by this, you should be offended by movies. Whatever. That's a cop out. That's a excuse the language. It's a bullshit excuse. Like this was you shouldn't have done this. I the most recent one I can think of is when they did the Muhammad Hassan angle with Taker on SmackDown after the London bombings.
Yeah,
like that was tone deaf. That was stupid.
Yeah,
this was tone deaf. This was stupid. It just didn't need to happen. Like the feud is already there. I didn't need this. Like MJF addressed it today on Twitter. And he's kind of spun it into a positive light about the awareness for it, but you could have done it without this, and it makes Juice look terrible. It should.
That's unfortunate. Yeah, I mean it's unfortunate in the context of like this is. Yes, I know that this was something that he was doing in New Japan. Like I get that. Mm-hmm. It would not have hurt them if they avoided that. For this particular, I mean, there was enough heat with Bullet Club Gold that they did not need to bring that in there. There was literally everything outside of that particular moment with the roll of quarters could have been handled because yes, he's in the Dynamite Diamond Battle Royal, whatever. There could have been an easier way to spin that without, needing to actually physically display a roll of quarters that has Friedman's name on it, especially after there was already an issue with a fan that had a sign that was anti-Semitic as well. Like it didn't need to be. Didn't need to be.
There's no place in wrestling for it. We're here to be entertained. It's unfortunate that we're talking about it. I'm hoping AEW is not like, hey, any press is good press at this point because they were going against, this was the head-to-head night, and I'm hoping that's not the thought process behind it. Like, hey, let's be a little controversial. It was stupid. It was stupid. It was dumb. Hopefully they drop the whole thing and we never hear about it again. It sucks because I think Juice is a great character right now. And I think Bullet Club Gold is going very well. But this was a black eye on the night.
Yeah, for sure.
Sorry, I felt like we had to.
No, I get it. No, that's fine. Yeah, no, that's perfectly fine. It didn't need to be. So yeah.
And I will say,
I'm sorry, buddy.
Kind of, we just need to accept everybody. Go back to the interview with the Creeps. I think they laid it out very eloquently. Like, just let's stop. Like, just we're all doing this together. Let's just stop.
Yep.
On to the women's match. Man, this was weird.
A little bit.
This was weird. I don't like it.
Not great.
I do not like that Shida won. Like, I like that Shida won. I think Shida's a great wrestler, but I don't think now was the time to do it. Like, you just had the title on her, and she was a transitional champion. What makes me think she's not going to do the same thing? And where do you go from this?
Yeah, and this was so, and because I had to text you to make sure this was only Saraya's second defense of this title, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you spend all of that time building up her return, making it to the point that she is, there were a lot of multi-person matches that she was in, and there was a lot of questions after she won, even at the presser afterwards of like, hey, I know that I need to get back into singles shape in order to defend this championship, and here she is losing it in her second defense. It definitely doesn't make sense. And much to your point, yes, she's a transitional champion, but are you saying that there was no way that you couldn't have waited to make sure that Tony was ready and that she's full into this timeless character to have her take the title off of it because she still got involved in the match?
Yeah, I don't like. For me, it just goes back to they did it for the London pop, and that's not good long-term booking.
Not really, but I mean, it is what it is. She's great. I love.
We will see where it goes. Common
like
theme on this show, but yeah, like the titles seem a little jumbled right now between that, the international, the world title not meaning a damn thing right now. Like we will see where it goes.
Well, I mean, did you like at least the fact that there was a segment to set up accepting the challenge for Full Gear and kind of at least jump starting that? Because, I mean, again, we do have to factor in the Adam Cole injury here too and what that could have changed for what original plans were.
Sure. Like the stolen title thing is just I'm not super into that story. It's okay. Like the only way you're gonna get your title back is if you challenge me to a match for your title. That's weird.
Holding it. I mean, come on. There have been feuds over way less than that. I believe it was Jean-Pierre Lafitte that stole Bret Hart's jacket, and that led to a multi-month program.
I think it was WrestleMania 18 or 17 where Edge and Booker T feuded over a shampoo commercial. So yes, there's been a lot less, but like this match didn't need that. Like Jay White's a credible challenger. Just have him challenge for the title. Like whatever.
Yeah, fair enough.
I don't know. You're getting me all angry again. Don't do that.
I mean, I wouldn't say angry. I'd prefer to call it hot and bothered. Whatever.
Nah, I'm not that either.
Nah, whatever. Okay. 9:30 to 10. Final half hour. You ready?
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm not smiling.
Chase U segment. JC Jane is now the newest member, or at least enrolled. She's auditing classes, is what we'll say. She's just checking it out right now. But she did get them a chance in the tag team battle royal. What do you think of this kind of dark side flirtation that Thea Hale has with JC and kind of trying to balance all that with Chase U?
Yeah, I like it. I think it's going to be a fun story. We'll see. Does she get Duke over to the dark side, or what happens there? But should be some fun vignettes.
Don't get me excited. Don't get me all excited on here. You know how long I've been waiting for that. Should
be some fun vignettes, though, I would say.
So I hope so. Yeah. Quick Braun Heyman segment. Basically, you're the man. You're this. You're that. Yada yada yada. I've worked with your family. I'm Mayor Quimby. Vote for me. Commercial 9:38. You got the reference.
Of course I did. I'm 29, not 9. Come on. I'm disappointed you think I wouldn't get that reference.
This is the most unhinged episode of the show that we've ever done.
It's because I'm tired.
And I'm not. So let's try to get you out of here soon, bud. Okay, we're on the final half hour. We did see some more vignettes. Brian Pillman Jr. is no more. Jr. is no more, and in his place comes Lexus King, or at least that's what the Dirty Sheets are reporting is the new name. He did acknowledge that the surname is going to be changing to King. What do you think of this reinvention of Flying Brian Jr.?
We will see.
It's fair.
We will see. I don't know if I love it, but the story behind the name makes sense. Trying to get out of the shadow is something I think that he's struggled with. So bringing in a little bit of real life into it might be good. We'll see. I don't know.
Yeah.
heel wise, we haven't seen a heel Brian Pillman Jr. So I don't know.
You've not, yeah.
I don't know how that'll go. It's another person into the fray that I think.
Yeah.
This is kind of I would say a make or break time for him. It's not like he's a young guy coming in. He's 30 years old already, and this is I would say a make or break for Brian Pillman Jr.
Yeah, I think that I would agree with you in this respect because even though we're not seeing the call-ups like clockwork that we're used to seeing in previous years, I think sooner than later we are going to see a significant portion of NXT talent that is going to just be on the main roster soon. Mm-hmm. Without any sort of surprise or any announcement or anything like that. Like, it's just going to happen.
It's kind of started with Dragon Lee.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he was just there. And even in group chats that we're both in on the social media verse, it's just kind of it's just happening. This is just what they're doing. Do I see him as far as Brian Jr. King being a NXT World Champion? Not anytime soon. However, nice addition to the North American Championship division because this Judgment Day story is going to end sooner than later. Yeah. And I don't necessarily see Dom he's going to enjoy a nice run with it, but this isn't going to be like a Roman type of reign. See what I did there? Thank you. So we'll see, but it adds depth to the ranks, and he is TV ready. So learn that WWE style and see what happens.
Yeah, I think that might be his ceiling at this point is maybe mid-card title, and that's fine.
That's right.
It's not a
if he does it well, yeah.
But I would have to see a lot to see him in like a world title picture.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, we're getting close to the 1 hour mark, and I know the podcast dad is tired and I need dinner. So we had a segment with Asuka, Kiana James, Blair Davenport, and Tiffany Stratton backstage. Basically, everybody is giving Asuka her flowers except for Tiffany. Dude, is Tiffany about to get her head kicked off by the Empress of Tomorrow?
That would be awesome. I'd love to see that match. That'd be a good program.
So much fun. So much fun.
It gives Asuka something to do. We also said after the triple threat, like what does Asuka do next? Maybe she stays in NXT and puts that undefeated record on the line. And if Tiffany can be that, be the one in whatever 100 and whatever and one, that's a good notch in the belt for Tiffany.
Yeah, I don't see why not. Especially until we see that Kyrie has actually confirmed. Yes, we have an idea that she's done with Stardom, but it's just a matter of where does she show up and when, and do they reunite with Kabuki Warriors? Is this something where she comes in and turns full heel and Asuka gets to just play I don't know. There's a lot that can be done, but this is a nice way to use her in the interim if there is a larger story in place. Main event time on the WWE side: Braun versus Mello. There was one commercial break mid match there. Basically, Solo shows up, brawls with Cena. Cena also has some scuffling with Braun Breaker. You are of the belief that John Cena versus Braun Breaker is happening sooner than later. Explain yourself.
I think it's happening at Mania. And, if we go back 20 or so minutes ago, I think that's how you debut Braun onto the main roster and make him feel like a big deal. His first match, he comes in, he beats John Cena on the biggest stage ever. Yeah. That's how you debut somebody. I just think Braun's a star. This new heel character, he can wrestle. Like this guy he oozes stardom, and I think they got something.
Yeah, no, he's definitely ready. I think it's only a matter of time. But this is a nice way to kind of get everybody involved with this. Solo versus Cena. If I had to guess, if I've got to give a prediction, I could see that at the Rumble. That's just me. I'd have a lot of fun with that. Yeah. We'll see. Anyway, Braun says, hey, I'm the only badass around here. Then we hear a gong. Kid Rock plays. Taker comes out, rides his bike around, says you're not a badass. Choke slam, takes it home, and we're done. Anything on Taker's first debut in NXT?
While it was cool to see Taker, that's a rare appearance from The Undertaker. While it is cool to see him, I didn't love this.
That's fair.
I don't, Braun already lost the match. And then it's not like we're going to get Taker versus Braun.
No.
How does Braun get his heat back? Like, he kind of looks like a chump. He just got chokeslammed and told he's not any good by a 58-year-old biker. Like,
he's not just a 58-year-old biker, though.
He's not, but like, what rub did that give to Braun? Mello certainly got a rub.
Yeah.
But what did that do for?
That's cool.
What did that do for Braun?
I mean, and I think that we sometimes have to think about the fact that WWE is like, they don't always think about whether any specific individual is going to get a rub off of a particular moment. This was war, basically. This was a ratings war. I want to choose my words carefully when I say that this was a ratings war. They knew they were going head-to-head with AEW. They wanted to be able to say, hey, we have stacked our card with everything that we could possibly put on. And because Taker has never been to NXT, and you heard that gong at the end of the teaser, people are just going to want to see what he wants to do. It may not have been much, but
I agree.
You have to, I mean, it got us to switch which TV was going to get the priority of the show, didn't it?
Yes.
That's all they want.
100%.
I mean, it's, yeah. I mean, that's just kind of just what it was. I mean, yes, we're not expecting, we're not expecting there to be anything additional to this, but
the two pops I have here are John Cena and The Undertaker. Like, obviously, I am a fan, and if they are on the show, I will watch. So yes, they got me with that, and then it's this nostalgia thing that, it was cool to see. It was cool to see Taker. I just, long term wise, we'll see where it goes. Hopefully, Braun comes out, like, cuts a promo or something and says something about it, or whatever.
I wouldn't get my hopes up, but So SmackDown ended at 10:08 that last night. Final half hour of AEW. They finished up Saraya Shida. Upcoming matches over Rampage, Collision, basically over the next week as far as what they've got announced. Segment between Renee talking to MJF, who's pretty pissed off. He calls Adam Cole by phone. I was gonna get there. I'm just getting it
ready.
I get it. Yeah. So, I mean, Adam Cole is basically not being the best friend that he could be to MJF right now. And yet Max Caster is wearing his heart on his sleeve and basically offering the services of the Acclaimed, and MJF is shutting him down. But Max likes when Max is playing hard to get. It's fucking adorable. Sorry. I did not edit that one. I apologize, but Well,
there's our information. Thanks for that.
And there goes the Emmy. Anyway. So I mean, there's obviously another story that they can build there with Caster and MJF, and some involvement with the Acclaimed. Max is making friends. Good for him. Main event: Adam Copeland's in-ring debut for AEW, taking on Luchasaurus. Christian comes out being Christian. Intro promo. I believe that your exact words were, "Christian is a menace," and I absolutely agree.
He is a menace. Beth changed the sheets because Daddy's coming home.
Yep.
Oh my god!
Yep. Mm-hmm. I'm not repeating that. Yeah, that's not realistic.
Is he? And is he the heel of the year? He has to be.
I'm going to say yes because I'm pretty sure I said that to you last night. So that's why I'm going to agree with it. I am.
We can go check.
Check my receipts here.
He has to be the heel of the year. This is good podcasting, folks.
Yeah, you said Christian of a menace. I replied heel of the year, so it's there.
You had it. Yes, I would like. He has been so good at this character that I don't want him to go back to face. Like, I don't want to see it.
This is fine. Yeah, I mean, this is a great fit for him. I think, and I sent this to you. There was a post on X that basically put side by side the Christian connection or whatever he called it in TNA, and then what he's got going now with Luchasaurus and Nick Wayne. I think the exact words of the post were a tall, tatted guy, a flippy twink, and Christian Cage. And that's just basically, present day and the past. Absolutely hilarious. I loved every second of it.
I think they may have missed an opportunity when they were opening the show with Cody on one side and Christian on the other, and Christian going, you can flip to that side, but he doesn't have a dad.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they could have done something like insanely crazy.
Yeah. No,
but he's amazing right now.
Yeah, no, this is the best work that he's doing of his career, and I mean that's not even a question. But the question I have for you, and I know that we kind of started our conversation like this, so let's just kind of bookend it.
Sucker.
Who?
You can't just throw a softball right down the middle of the plate and not expect me to hit it 500 feet. Come on.
I'm not doing this with you tonight. I'm not doing this with you tonight. I'm not doing it.
You're already an hour and 5 in. We're already in. We've done it.
Yeah, this is a longer episode today. Thank you guys if you are sticking along with us. It really was, and I think that this deserved the attention because I mean, when is the next time we're going to get something like this? It's like it's about as rare as the sports equinox. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, this is basically what this was. And to end the day, what do you think? I mean, which was the better show in your mind?
I would still go NXT because of all of the legends on the show. It was nostalgia based. Yeah. I got to see Shawn. I got to see Taker. I got to see Cena, Heyman. I got to see the big star in LA Knight. I got to see the big star in Jade.
Yeah.
Asuka was also there. Like it was I would say NXT and Dynamite kind of felt like another Dynamite, which is fine. Again, Dynamites are always good, but NXT just felt like huge.
Yeah, and that's where I'm at with it too.
With the caveat of Dynamite did a better job on long-term storytelling.
Yes.
NXT kind of just boom, we're here. Like nothing long-term wise was set up besides the triple threat match next week and the bada boom, bada bing battle royal.
Sure. Yeah, and I agree with you. There was nothing that I inherently disliked about Dynamite. Dynamite puts on, more often than not, great shows. So I wasn't disappointed with anything that I saw as far as that entire, 2 plus. I really,
except for the quarter thing. Yes.
Yes. That aside, that and then Sheeta title change, disappointing match. But overall, as far as it was a typical Dynamite.
Yes.
The only big thing that I felt like highlighted it was Copeland in-ring AEW debut. That was their big selling point. All of the other matches that we got on this card, we would have gotten if this show happened in 40 minutes from now.
Yep. Yeah, so. And Edge is not Undertaker.
No.
So I think
Icon, but not Undertaker.
I think AEW was hoping that Edge in the main event would get some more eyes. Undertaker's going to get those. Yeah. John Cena's going to get those.
Yeah.
We've seen Edge wrestle over the past couple of years. That's why I don't think it's as big of a deal. And to be honest, Edge versus Luchasaurus was not very high up on my list of opponents for Cope, as we're going to start calling him now.
I mean, I get why they did it though, because you have to build towards that, somehow. And we both know that Edge is going to run through Nick Wayne anyway.
Cope.
I just did. Damn it! I did just do that, didn't I? All right, it is.
It's going to take a minute.
It is,
and I can't. And I'm not going to call him Cope. I can't. It's Copeland.
Well, wait until the new legendary shirts come out because he did trademark that with the spelling of Edge in there. So just wait. Anyway,
wrestlers.
Anyway, any final thoughts, podcast dad? We're getting long in the tooth here, and I need dinner. It's taco week.
It is nice. The next 2 days. And as much as I love wrestling, the next 2 nights are wrestling free.
I know, right?
And it feels like a bit of a break. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
There is one piece of news out there that we can touch real quick that Meltzer reported that WWE is not interested in CM Punk. Take it with a grain of salt. We will talk about it more tomorrow.
Yeah.
But, that news is out there. So we'll see what happens. But that might be the only news item over the next couple days before SmackDown, hopefully.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's all I've got. Again, as a quick reminder, first and foremost, thank you so much for watching this show. Hit that QR code in the top left corner, like, share, subscribe, hit those notifications so you know what's going on. We will hopefully get some new Stump the Smark out. Go Phillies, just so I can say that because I know
7-1 right now. Let's go. Let's go.
All right. Yeah. And again, if you are interested in an official Wrestling Junkies podcast t-shirt, DM us. You know how to get a hold of us with that QR code in the top left corner. Yeah, we're hopefully, we're not going to announce this yet because it's not confirmed, but we might have something pretty cool that we're doing this Friday instead of a normal show. So
Just
be on the
leave it
lookout for that. Once we have more information,
we'll see.
We'll let you know, or we'll just do it. But yeah, podcast that is, it's always good to see you, buddy.
It is a long episode. Thanks for sticking with us, guys. It was a big night.
Absolutely. For the podcast dad, I'm sorry. I know,
Mr. Podcast Dad.
I'm so tired, dude. I know. Okay,
I like Mr. Podcast Dad.
For Mr. Philadelphia, for one moment only, because of the Phillies, I am Mr. Cincinnati. This has been the Wrestling Junkies podcast. Thank you so much for watching. We'll talk to you guys soon.